we want the parents to understand how important are anything they do with the babies in the first 24 months.
Welcome to Talking About Kids. I am your host, R. Bradley Snyder, researcher, activist, and author of The 5 Simple Truths of Raising Kids. A lot has changed since the days when baby monitors were little more than pastel-colored intercoms. Today, baby monitors transmit video as well as sound. They play lullabies and have night vision. And some even purport to be able to alert parents to changes in their baby's breathing. While these advancements should result in healthier and happier children, the temptation to replace actual physical contact between a parent and a child with monitoring is great. And doing so would be incredibly damaging. The people at LittleOne.Care think that their baby monitor, named Elora, not only avoids this temptation, but actually strengthens the connection between a parent and a child, and even among members of their community. My guest to explain how Elora accomplishes this is LittleOne.Care's CMO and a driving force behind Elora, Ami Meoded. Talking About Kids is sponsored in part by the Arizona Department of Health Services Must Stop Bullying campaign through its Title V Maternal and Child Health Program. For more information, go to muststopbullying.org. You know, entrepreneurs like Ami Meoded do not come on this podcast to meet me. They come on to get the word out about technologies that benefit parents and kids. You can do your part by sharing the series with your friends and your professional network. And now, the interview.
In my particular case, my mom actually didn't really want to raise me. When I was born, people didn't know to pronounce and say a different kind of behavior that might come after the birth, like moms that reject the babies or are under depression. My mom stayed in the hospital for 6 months, and my auntie raised me. And I have no idea and what really had happened over there, but this is what I'm sharing with you right now is relying on stories that I had to pick from different people because it's a very sensitive thing to anyone who was involved in it. So
Yeah.
my curiosity about what could happen, what had happened, what kind of version I became because of this unique situation, comparison to my brothers and sisters, for instance, made me to be attached and connected to this area. So I found myself responsible for content for babies, working in companies that brought Barney the dinosaur to my country, Dora the Explorer, Ninja Turtle. I always used to be the head of the PTA because always I wanted to come back to my kids' life, other kids' life, and till now. And nowadays, from the science point of view, people understand how important and crucial are the first 2 years of life of babies' life. So this is my reason, and I think that I will never have an answer, but I will keep digging and thinking and what if about my personal life. But it brought me into that business. Yes.
I can sort of see that what if, that questioning in your product, actually, the little bit that I know of it, because I've been reviewing your website and I'm kind of fascinated by what technology can bring to early childhood. And so your product is called Elora. Tell me about Elora and what makes it different.
Baby monitoring is a huge market, but most of the product are about the customer behavior, the parents' decision making, purchase decision making, that are about the night sleep and the fear
Hmm.
of what might happen when my baby is in the other room. When we started our business, the AI was not developed like it is today, but we expected that this is what's going to happen, and we were relying on future technologies when we started the company. We promised our investors that we will not use or manipulate parents in this market and to make them purchase product because of fear, because we call that type of products on like 0-1 products, like
Mm.
everything is fine, something went wrong. Although the parent invested that money and the parents really care about the kids, but when you investigate and learn the parents' behavior, you understand that after a while, the parents feel like I'm okay with that, or feel more confidence and stop using these products.
Right.
So we thought, what would be what we want to do that will make a difference? And the difference is not just about tracking the sleep of the baby, which we do, but it's not the most important part in the product of the product. We want the parents to understand how important are the anything they do with the babies in the first 24
Mm.
months. On the other hand, parenting is an occupation that nobody will tell you what is the right and wrong thing to do. It's about the values, the cultural code that you brought from your houses, both parents. It's about your income. It's about your attention. So many things makes you parents. So we learned that we should behave like a smartwatch. We will tell you how many steps you had today. We won't tell you if it's good or bad, right?
Mm.
We will be there for you to map what is going on, but we will never ever judge you or criticize you or let you know what we think about that, because there is no good or bad thing. Because we found out that many parents that work hard needs to put food on the table, needs to develop their career, travel several hours a day just to go to work and back. They feel bad with themselves, not because they do something wrong, because they don't know what really had happened. And all we want to do is to tell you how many words your baby had today, how active was
Mm.
your baby today, how your baby slept during the whole day, not just during the night sleep, in the stroller, in the living room, or in the daycare, or with the babysitter, to give you the facts and to, we call it call to action reports, to make you understand what you should do in the next 24 hours, or based on what had happened in the previous 24 hours. Because again, I will keep saying it, in this 1,000 days, the pregnancy in the first 24 months,
Hmm.
your baby, it's a crucial time for the development, the personality, mental health, and you cannot say, okay, I will do it next month. It's not important. Everything is important, and I don't need your baby doesn't need you to bring in your issues, your problem. Just behave as a good parent according to the real facts that your baby is actually living.
Well, there's a couple things I want to touch on there. I mean, I think that I really appreciate that you set as a guiding principle not capitalizing on parents' fear. There's actually a lot in the academic literature about how baby monitors are marketed at fear. And there's even, it's been raised in the research about whether or not they do anything to alleviate fear, or rather, they just actually keep that fear present. So I appreciate that you had decided to make that a guiding principle. So that my listeners can understand some of the kind of nuts and bolts here. You mentioned tracking sleep. What are some of the other things that Elora tracks?
It's very important question, but I will answer it in several levels, from the
Okay.
technological point of view and from the AI point of view, which is actually a processing of very interesting data. But before that, I will answer you the most important from the most important aspect, which is what the parents wanted us to track.
Okay.
Before we started developing the product, we created group of parents that is with the company for several years, and all the time we updated these 30 couples that we kept asking them different kind of questions, and we
Mm.
didn't try to listen to the answer. We're trying even to understand in between the line what they're trying to say. Side by side to these parents, we have a group of baby experts, breastfeeding experts, sleeping experts, occupation therapists, speech therapists, and physicians that telling us if these parents or the request of the parents is reasonable or the parents doesn't know what they want to and don't do that for them. So on one end, we wanted to please the parents. On the other end, we didn't want to please them in a way that will lead it to a wrong place. So this is
Right.
the very first thing we have done to understand what the market needs. The market needs safety features in area that we don't just think of the night sleep issues. Maybe somebody is handling my baby in a very tough way, like an aggressive way, screaming at the baby, lift him in a very aggressive way. Well, there is an impact of it. I don't want anyone to yell at my kids. Maybe my baby is crying and nobody, it's fine that the baby is crying, but nobody approach him.
Mm.
Nobody talk to him, like presence when my baby is crying. Maybe the baby fall from a changing table. Happens. That kind of
Right.
things happens. So this is in the safety part. And we said, okay, we're going to do all of this. But most important is to address the next need. Parents would like to know they do the right things or enough thing
Hmm.
that will support the baby's development, talking to the baby, playing with the baby, be there for the baby. And that kind of this kind of thing people don't really talk about, but when you start to communicate with working parents, single moms, this is the second thing that they are do not express it, but they know they should do more or talk between them and themselves about that. So we said, let's put it on the table and let's present that. In the technology level, we are doing very simple things. Think of a button that is attached to the baby's shirt. We don't want to have any connection to the baby's sensitive skin. It's on the shirt.
Hmm.
And this tiny device named Elora, over the very first baby who used this product for the first year of her life, her name was
Mm.
Elora. I said, okay, let's celebrate that. In its elephant, we use the elephant logo. It's the initial EL of the Elora and the elephants. We said to ourselves, okay, it's amazing. We use the elephant logo because elephants, it's a very nice presentation of community,
Hmm.
of animals that live in a tribe and they are supportive and very sensitive animals, exactly like our product, and they listen for distance and they have a very good memory. So anything that elephants will do for their kids, we would like to embrace in this product. So we have very simple, from the technological point of view, we have very simple sensors. The air quality around your baby,
Okay.
24/7. Accelerations, we can track any type of motion, hard motions, tough motion, and very sensitive motions,
Mm.
and several microphones, analog microphone, digital microphones. What do we do with that? And this is the second level of the AI. The AI converts your the motion of the Elora to understand that your baby is right now, the belly goes up and down. Very quiet around the baby for the last 2 hours means he is resting. I
Mm.
cannot say if their eyes are closed, but the baby is in a status that might be sleep. May the baby roll through the right side and is not rolling through the left side. Okay, this is interesting because development should be symmetric. How much
Right.
time your baby spent in tummy time, which is a very important milestone to strengthen the muscles of the neck.
Hmm.
Why it's important? In the elementary school, the very same kid will be needed to hold the pencil. It starts with the strength shoulders because you should put your baby in the right stages in tummy time. How much time you spend talking to the baby? If the baby is crying, if you laugh with the baby, are you singing to your baby? This is the voice part. Um, Together, when you start to synchronize them, you start to understand much more interesting things. For instance, we didn't release that yet, but our AI is 1 second before I will talk about AI. AI
Yeah.
is a machine, but if you do not have a very accurate data and you will put into your machine garbage with the
Hmm.
name garbage in, garbage out. So you need to
Yes.
create something that will tag the data. in a way that you will have an advantage over competitors or over any other AI machine. So what we have done, we start to synchronize the sounds of the baby with the motion of the baby. For example, if the baby was crying, easy to understand
Hmm.
that, but a couple of minutes later, the belly goes up and down for the next 2 hours, you can assume the baby fall asleep. So at the very same baby, we have a personalized neural network that will say, okay, I will use the last crying pattern and will target, I can assume that the baby was tired before you fall asleep. And I will use that knowledge to tell parents in the coming future that maybe the baby is tired now and you should put him to sleep. Maybe. Or
Mm.
you fed the baby and the baby stopped crying, or you changed a diaper and the baby was crying. We are not doing that in order to tell parents why their baby are crying. Parents, we are trying to develop their instincts and understanding and natural behavior. But we are doing it for one important reason. When you look at any mom, even experienced mom, 2 a.m., the baby is crying, she will wake up, go to his crib or bedroom, try to lift him, try to breastfeeding him, change diaper, rock him. From the baby's point of view, if you look at that, when he has pain, he's in pain. Why are
Hmm.
you taking off my pants when I'm in pain? Why are you trying to feed me when I'm in pain? So we would like to spare it and say, okay, I'm in pain, and move forward. So again, it's about the well-being of the baby, and we would like to address that kind of things in the next level of the product. But right now, we use the products in order to collect data, tag data that is a synchronization of sound and motion. It's a very interesting world, this secret world of babies.
Right.
The other thing that we do, which is very important, that enables us to tag data in a very nice way. Any caregiver that touch the Elora, push the very in a very simple, just touch it, can
Hmm.
talk to the Elora. The Elora always is in a listening mode that tracks very specific things like crying, laughing, or if you talk. I don't know what you said, and I don't care what you said, but I know that you talked to your baby, or you sang to your baby. But when
Right.
you touch the Elora, you can say, oh, let's change a diaper. Oh, grandma just came. Let's eat banana. It's the first time we have banana. On one end, from the parent's point of view, it's the very first speech to text baby diary. You touch the Elora, you say what you want to say, and you're going to
Oh,
see that in the baby diary app. From our end, we gain two things. First of all, we practice you and make you talk to your baby. Most important thing. I would like you to know that at the end of the day, that you spoke to your baby 10,000 words,
right.
20,000. Any speech therapist will tell you 15,000 words a day. This is the minimum, which means that you cannot stop talking. You need to describe the world to your baby all the time.
Right.
But from the AI point of view, we have, again, tag data that enable us to understand how the pattern of changing diapers looks like. Feeding status, how does it look like in this particular house? So we collect data that enables us to tag the data, that gives us more and more um, tools to develop algorithms that will make our AI more and more personalized and accurate.
So not an expert on your technology at all, but I'm hearing what you're saying, and I'm putting it through a lens of attachment, which I and my heroes and my colleagues believe is like the single most important um, thing that can come out of childhood is a healthy attachment. And so immediately, there's a couple things that I'm noticing that if you can improve or increase the infants' efficacy at getting their needs met. What you said before about helping a parent distinguish a cry of being tired or fatigued from a cry of being hungry or a cry of being in pain. What the baby is going, in theory, and according to attachment theory, the baby is going to like have an increased sense of efficacy, of agency. And that is going to be a really good thing for them, right? Developmentally, that they are able to get their needs met with their cry, with their limited tools. So I think that's really interesting. Um,
I will tell you something we have to put things. First of all, I really appreciate what you just said, but we have put things in proportions. Most people, like, let's start with me, and maybe you, and I believe that even yourself, nobody raised us with digital devices, and trust me, we are fine. At the very same time, I would like to share with you a story. Or one of the reports that we release is a report that, beside of telling you how active was your baby, or what was the air quality around your baby, wherever you spend the time with him, or how many words you talk to your baby. It's how much you engage with your baby. Um, I would like to share with you something that I understand about parents' behavior, and I'm not criticizing parents. Going to the gym, registered to a diet program, and raising kids, it's quite similar. Why? I have learned in my business life that people are good. And when they talk to you, they're really honest, and they say, "Yeah, I bought the book in order to read it. I registered to the gym in order to participate the lesson, and I'm going to have this diet in order to lose weight." At the end of the day, nobody look at them. They don't even pay attention. They will open the fridge and eat. At the end of the day, they will pass 1 month. They will not even park next to the gym, and you cannot complain because life are tough. Nowadays, we can see a lot of parents at home, working from home, but they are not present because they are in front of the Zoom and the laptop all day. So what we want to do, we want, like, in a very gentle way, to remind them that we are in this 1000 important day and they can do better. Maybe not tomorrow because you're going to be busy again, but in the weekend you will do better. This is the only thing we want to do. I would like to say it in a different angle. We can develop a very sophisticated technology. At the end of the day, the babies are doing only 4 things. They sleep, they eat, they cry and poo. That's it. It's about you as a caregiver to understand about yourself, your habits, your behavior, your routine, and the discipline between you and yourself. So we don't want to tell you off, but in a very nice way, we would like to reflect you what you have done. Did you read the book to your baby tonight? You said you're going to do right. I'm not
Right.
asking you. I am not notifying you. I'm not nagging you, but I'm there to remind you. We created in LittleOne.Care app another feature that we thought in advance we understood that is going to be very, very important. The moment you present parents with data, they question it.
Hmm.
So the very first thing we didn't want to do, you won't be able to see any relative data, like your baby comparison to other babies. It is not
Okay.
a competition. The parents ask that. No way. Your baby is a prince. Your baby girl, she is a princess. They are the best. Now, keep working with this, but they question the data. Within the app, you can click on any events that you could see, like the changing diaper, feeding the baby, sleeping, playing, crying, whatever. A pop-up will show up with a random tip that was written in advance by one of the baby expert that is already exist in the app, that already knows about us. The tip will be related to the event type. You just click that and the age group of your baby. It's like a Wikipedia that go up with your
Hmm.
baby with different kind of tip. You can even chat with these experts and ask them for help. But for the very first time, which I learned again in my professional life, it's going to be the first time that you're not communicating over your baby's uh, behavior or activity from your memory and the way you
Mm.
translate the reality, the way you want to see it.
Hmm.
It's going to be over the real data you are going to see in the app, and the data that the very same data that you're enabling the baby experts to see in the app, which you're going to create a very interesting conversation. All the experts will say, it's not about the babies. The babies are fine. It's about the behavior of the parents. And we are here to make the parents feel good, to change their manners, but to feel good about that.
One of the things that a question I had coming into this was on your website using the elephant symbol. You talk about in building community. Now, that because of something you had just said about how parents want to compare themselves to other parents, that community piece with me like struck. I wanted to know a little bit more about that. Again, for two reasons. One, because I know how important community is to the health and well-being of children and adolescents and then adults. But I also know from another body of research that parents sometimes get caught in a comparison game. And there is a shift that occurs where the parent is more concerned with being perceived as being a good parent as opposed to being a good parent. And so I want to know a little bit about how Elora improves or increases community, and how you keep, and you already told me a little bit about how you keep parents sane by not giving them benchmarks that are, arbitrary, hard to interpret. But how else does Elora improve community?
Um, as I said, we have you when you access the application and it starts to investigate the data, you have an access to baby experts from different disciplines. I think we have
Mhm.
like 15 type of experts. The most important category, and I'm not devaluate any other category, is experienced mom.
Mm,
You can communicate with any baby care specialist or with a psychologist that we have over there, a therapist from different disciplines. But I'm sorry I'm saying it, but I like the
mhm,
experienced mom. I have 4 kids and I use Elora. I have 3 kids,
mhm.
I use Elora. Why? Because you want to talk to someone that will tell you, I've been there.
Right,
I know what
right.
you are going through. I I don't know. I can talk about myself, but I was raised in a village, and then the day when my mom kind of rejected me or couldn't help me because she stayed in the hospital and was depressed and everything. But I was raised in the village, and somebody else from the very same village took me over and to take care of me. There was a lot of fun in my family. What was the quality of that care? What had happened with me?
Right.
But this village does not exist anymore. You move to the big city, you find yourself starting a family, and your parents might be several hours from your house and everything. So you need to find a way to create a digital village that will make you meet people like you or people you
Okay.
trust. And when you communicate with them, we would like to make it more, let's say, more effective, because it's not
Mm,
just your romantic story in what had happened. It's about what would you do in that case, what would you do in this case. This
okay.
is one thing we have done. We have uh, another aspect that another way we would like to, we didn't do that yet, but we would like to lead to a point where we have um, several parents in each city. For instance, in New York, in Buffalo, in Rochester, even all over the places, because I mentioned these cities because in each city we have several baby experts, and we would like to create groups, kind of groups, and we would like to make this community to start work together. I will explain. One day we will announce, the moment we will have enough parents in many cities, one day we will announce, okay, this week we are going to have a competition. Which city sings more to their babies? It's kind of competition, but not as individual. It will enable the experts to explain why singing is important for the confidence of your baby when he's going to be a toddler in the daycare. And it's going to explain why it will increase the vocabulary and understanding of language. They will talk about that. But we would like to announce that Salt Lake City won because over there people singing more than any other city. And to make you to play with that, not as individual, as the whole city against the other cities. Because on one end, we will give you, when we release the competitive and the relativeness, because many parents are like that. But on the other end, we will make you more aware to that. Or how many of people who read books, or how
Right.
active you are with your baby.
Right.
This is the way we would like to create a local communities that will fight other communities, but in the very same time, we know each other, we'll talk to each other, what are you doing and how you, and this is our way to contribute to the community of elephants. This is the way we want to do that.
The final thing that I wanted to talk to you about, I'm still going to bring it up, even though you've addressed it, because I think it's really, really important. And in the history of mechanization of parenting, anytime there has been the creation of something of a technology that could be used in place of the physical presence of a caring adult, things have gone wrong. So instead of people using technologies to assist their parenting, too often what people have done is, oh, I have a camera on them now, so they're safe. I have a breathing monitor on them, they're safe. And instead of using it as an additional tool, parents backed away with their own physical presence to the detriment of the child. It seems to me, and I don't, I mean, I don't want to toss you a softball here, but it seems like you've taken care of that with Elora because Elora,
Absolutely. I will
yeah,
tell you, something. Technology, a good technology is always there to release you from different works and to give you more spare time. This is not the case. This is not the case, and I will explain you why. Any parents who talk to us, we say, "Do you kiss your baby? Do you hug your baby? Are you smiling to your baby? Yes, you are good parents. Move on. It's fine. You don't no, you don't need technology. It's fine. We do not force people to use it. On the other end, the product is not about the baby. As I said, babies all they will cry, they will poo, they will make you not to sleep if they don't sleep, and and they, all you need to do is beside of anything the basic things, change the diaper and feed them. But it's about yourself, about your decisions making, about yourself, how much time, on how much attention, or how consistent you are. Consistency is one of the most important things to create a house that will make you as a baby, will make the baby feel confidence. You can see, it's very interesting to see that babies cry the moment we track that, the moment you see that, but without numbers, we tell you, okay, your baby is crying, and you approach your baby in a very, we don't care if it's 5 seconds or 50 seconds. We don't care. We are not timing you, but it's the consistency is important. This baby knows that when he's crying X second, somebody will show up. This
right.
It's so important for the confidence of the baby. By saying that, we are keep thinking about the single moms, the divorced parents, the people that have to go back to work and put the baby with somebody they don't know who are they. We keep thinking of it. So we thought, what we're going to do about that? We don't want to enable the parents to say, okay, I will use this device, I go to work, I can be 16 hours there. No. The way we ask people to use the Elora, and we address it to caregivers as well, the moment you use the Elora, make any caregiver to be part of the application, because again, it's about putting the baby in the center, and
Right.
all of us, the people who treat this baby 24/7, will be involved, and we will track everything. So it enables the caregiver and the daycare to understand that your baby didn't sleep all night and it's going to be naughty during the whole day, and vice versa. Again, we put the baby in the center and enabling all caregivers to be at the same page.
Well, and in that sense, and maybe you probably already thought about this. The more you talk about it, the less it sounds like a baby monitor than a caregiver monitor, which is a very important difference, and one I like very much.
But we do not, again, it's very important to say, try to imagine that I am the weight in the gym.
Yeah.
I will reflect and map if the weight in the gym will tell you what is your weight, but he will never ever tell you run more, eat less, or something like that. No,
Right.
you are surrounded within the app with smart baby experts or your own baby experts and many other caregivers in the very same family. You are not by yourself. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is to enable amazing 1,000 day during the pregnancy and the first 2 months of 2 years of life to that baby. And this is the way we are doing it. I would like to end that part with a very important, very interesting story. When we
Yeah.
ran the aerial adaptive program, and many AI people wanted to participate with their babies in this project. It was free, but it was fun because you talk to them in a language they understand. And one of the day told me, Ami, I asked him how it's improved what you do or what is the value for yourself. I mean, I have to tell you something funny. When my son, I don't mention the name of this lovely kid, when I, with my son, and I see that the Elora is attached to the belly, I talk and smile more. And why? Because it's remind me what I'm going to see in the evening when I will dock the Elora in the docking station, and the baby will take a shower, and then it will upload the whole data, and I will feel myself fine because I talked to the baby. It's a very good reminder. It's beside of anything you do. For me,
Yeah.
it's a very good reminder of what I should do. It's like, and trust me, I'm a very busy person. It made me laugh because this is what we
Yeah.
want. We want to have a happy environment around these babies. Okay, beside of the whole very, very complicated technology, right?
Oh, that's fascinating. That is fascinating. Well, Ami, I want to just congratulate you on Elora. I appreciate your guiding principles and the thought that you put into this, and I look forward to tracking its evolution because I think it's going to continue to evolve. And I also want to thank you for being a guest on Talking About Kids.
Thank you so much, and it was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for hosting us.
That was Ami Meoded. For more information about Ami and LittleOne.Care's Elora product, please visit talkingaboutkids.com. And when you do visit talkingaboutkids.com, send me a note and let me know what you think about the podcast. I read every bit of feedback. The Talking About Kids theme song is by the Senators. For more of their music, go to thesenatorsmusic.com. And remember, kids are young goats and young humans, and the difference is that young goats are easier to manage.